I'm gonna plead the fifth.
About how you got on Tough Enough?
Yes, because it's okay.
What's going on, wrestling fans? It is I, Steve-O, and welcome to Tag Count. On today's edition, we're making history because I'm talking to Ariane Andrew, aka she was Cameron in the WWE. But this is history because you and I have done this now for the fifth time. You beat Gunther. I interviewed Gunther for the fourth time recently, but you are the champion of interviews here on 10 Count. Congratulations. You've done it. We've done it. We've done it together.
Exactly.
Oh, history is being made here. And of course, PoundTownWrestling.com was making history beforehand because recently you had an event, PTW, putting on this huge wrestling extravaganza. Sonny Kiss was there. Storylines were being built. Now, let's talk about that for a brief moment because we have an opportunity for a lot of people out there as well at the end of this interview. But let's talk about Sonny Kiss for a second. How did this deal come to be? Because one of the most sought-after talents in the world is Sonny Kiss.
So it's so interesting. I met Sunny officially at AEW when I had my one-time stint there, and we just always kind of stayed in contact. And I was like, you know what? I feel like this would be an awesome opportunity for us to collab together. Now, initially, I wasn't quite sure if it was going to be an actual match, between us. There was a lot of, things happening, most matches, maybe a match with her and somebody else. And yeah, I mean, it ultimately came down to us doing a singles match. And she was like, absolutely. Like, she's like, I support you. You're my girl, and I would love to be a part of the show. So that's a long story, kind of, I don't want to bore people. So that's kind of like bringing it long story short. But there was like, yeah, multiple ideas that were getting tossed around. And that was ultimately what we came up with.
Wow. Now, when was the last time you were in the ring before this?
So, I mean, officially,
Yeah.
that would be the Royal Rumble of
Oh,
2022. So, yeah, that was the last time I was in the ring. And initially, when I was doing this, I wasn't sure if I was going to wrestle. As we talked about, I was like,
yes.
you have to stay tuned.
You got us. You
Yeah,
got
you're
us.
you're good at bringing things out, but I was like, you know what? There's certain I got to learn how to not have diarrhea of the mouth.
Did you learn that on one of our interviews before, maybe? Possibly.
Very possible.
Very possible. Number
Very
two.
possible.
Number two, if I believe. If anyone's interested in going back
There's
in the
a few that
archives.
I'm learning how to just, simple is better, but I don't know if I'll ever be good at being simple. I'm like guacamole. It's always a little extra.
So obviously you were training before this matchup. Like, where were you training for this match with Sonny Kiss? Because I imagine it's not just you wake up, you're like, oh, let's go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It definitely was very difficult because trying to put together a whole company, plan a show, and then being like, now I'm getting in the ring was like, I don't know how I'm going to pull this off. So I was training at Millennium Pro Wrestling. Shout out to Paul over there. I went over there and was just, getting as much as I possibly could because as much as I was concerned about trying to make sure that I made a debut of coming back in the ring be great, for me, it was more important making sure that the show went together and that, and I guess it's like a big part of me that is a gift and a curse that I'm always looking out for other people than myself. So I was doing as much as I possibly could to train for myself. I wish I would have gotten more training in, but I had a balance. It's like, how do I put together a whole company, this whole entire show, and train on top of everything else that I have going on in life? So it definitely was. I still don't even know how I pulled this off, to be quite honest. I'm just keeping it 1000%.
Well, I'm happy it was a success because I can imagine, as someone I know like you, putting on a show, you don't want it to be just like a flop and a failure and your name's attached to it. So then you are connected to this flop, but it was not a flop, and that's what's great about this. So poundtownwrestling.com, let's give people a little peek into what's going on. What do you have to offer to the viewers here?
Oh, we're just gonna. Are we ending it right here?
Oh, we're not ending it, but we're gonna give them a tease. What can we? If someone waits to the end of this, if they want listen to all the interviews, what is
Okay.
gonna be at the end?
What will be at the end is, I don't know. Maybe you can watch it for free. Maybe get a
Oh,
little discount. I don't know. You have to wait and stay tuned to the very end.
Yeah. So you don't know when the end is. It could be right now, or it could be later. But there's one question I've never asked you, and that's what's funny about this interview. When I was doing some research and doing a little deep diving on yourself, I realized that there was questions that everyone seems to ask you, but I had never asked you before. But there are some here no one's ever asked you. One, strangest place you've ever wrestled. Where is it?
The strangest place? In my living room.
Wow. Is this
No, no, no. Even though I know I'm the queen of controversy, it's actually on my YouTube channel.
Okay,
My friends and I, actually, my business partner who's attached to Poundtown Wrestling, he was a part of it. It was we did WrestleMania in my living room. It was just us being silly, but that's just us being funny.
I just want to make sure that I didn't know what we were about to jump into there.
No, not that type of wrestling. I already know I have controversy of Pound Town, but it's not that type of Pound Town.
Right. I'm glad we clarified, because you know.
Yeah.
Earlier, though, you mentioned the Royal Rumble experience when you returned. What was that like? Because again, getting that call, it doesn't happen to everyone. And if you look at every single women's wrestler that ever existed in the WWE, many do not get that phone call. So who called you? How did this deal come to be?
So John Cone called me, who used to be a referee for WWE. I remember seeing his name and I was like, okay. Like, it's like that moment of like, ooh, I'm nervous because I'm not quite sure what this means. But I knew the Rumble was coming, close. And he was like, hey, it's not finalized. We're still working out details. Is this something that you would be interested in, type of thing? And I was like, absolutely. It was one of those moments of like you said, most people don't get that call back. And even though I know I felt like I had left on good terms in that type of situation, even after I sent an email after I got released, and I remember Triple H saying like the door is always open, you go and train and do whatever you need to go do, the door is open. But life happens and you just never know how things transpire. So to have that call and be like, are you down to come back, was pretty freaking awesome.
That is pretty awesome. That is awesome. And I hope with Royal Rumble on the horizon 2024, what are the likelihoods in Vegas? What are the odds for you to come back in 2024 Royal Rumble?
Again, the door is always open. It's very difficult to say though, because right now I'm very focused on PTW. As of now, our next show is February 8th. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work running a whole damn company, especially in the caliber of sports entertainment. So if the opportunity is there though.
Never say never.
My phone's available for the call.
When Connecticut calls, you answer.
Exactly. I feel like it's just I never like to shut a door out. Wrestling's where I started. Even though I'm doing my own thing now, I do see how a lot of things are starting to be more collaborative. I mean, you see Mickie James, and she came back at the same time I did when she had her title. That was so dope to see. So I feel like there's been a lot of cross-pollination. So you never know.
Never know. And there's one thing, again, we've never talked about was WrestleMania 28, where Brodus Clay dances with his mama and all of her friends, and you're out there as well. What is the rehearsal situation like, building to this moment? Because it's not just going to send out you and just dance. You obviously have some preparation. What was the prep work for this?
Gosh, it's so funny because there's certain things that it's like a blur, and there's certain things that it's like, because I just feel like life happens and it all just kind of comes together and you're like, what did I even do yesterday? Do I even remember what I did yesterday? We had a few practices, but it was nothing super crazy. Definitely was nerve-wracking. So I'm like, okay, we have to go out there and dance in front of all these people and a trip. Ooh, this is on live TV. But it was actually, it was fun. It was a great experience. That was definitely a WrestleMania moment that was exciting, nerve-wracking, but not as nervous, I feel like, as if I would have been wrestling. So
I love those WrestleMania moments where you have it's not a match that's like, oh my God, is this going to be the end of someone's career or championships? It's like, oh, cool. Like we have Piper's Pit back in the day. You had dancing segments with you. I always love those little segments on WrestleMania. They're hilarious and great and entertaining. And that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
That is all about entertaining. Now, again, doing more research. Recently, it seems like the Bella Twins are in the news again. Did the Funkadactyls have something wrong with the Bella Twins? Are the Bella Twins jealous of the Funkadactyls? Because it seems when I was going through old history of Raws and SmackDowns, it seems like there is.
What you just love to stir the pot, don't you?
I've never asked this question. This is the 5th time.
Oh, yeah, you just like to get all this tea and you like to try to get me in trouble with all these things. No, it literally was storylines.
Okay.
The twins are awesome. It was dope that we got to experience our very big, I guess you can say, push as the Funkadactyls with Brodus Clay with having the twins. So definitely was like amazing and sad moments. We kind of went through a lot together. We did Total Divas together. They came back. We were their storyline. A lot of, I think, roller coaster moments that we all experienced together. And then yeah, like having our WrestleMania moment robbed from us. It was just, yeah. So we went through, I think, if anything, it was more like a sisterhood because we were experiencing so many different things together. It was just like, wow, this is all happening to not just one person, it's happening to all of us.
It's true. That's
Yeah.
that 4-on-4 match being canceled from WrestleMania. I've talked to I think everyone from that on camera except for Matt Bloom at the time, and it's all feel the same way. Like just
Yeah.
feeling like robbed of something, feeling sad about something. Though with Total Divas, though, this is a show that I would talk to people who didn't watch wrestling but knew who you were through Total Divas. Oh, you see this person or this person? Yeah, I see them on weekly television shows on wrestling. And they're like, yeah, but Total Divas. And another storyline, AJ Lee like declared war on the Total Divas cast. And to me, that's a little bizarre because I would say Total Divas was more popular than the wrestling aspect of the characters you were portraying on television. So this declaring of war, did any of these Total Divas people, including yourself, take this as an offense? Like, why are you picking us out because you consider wrestling more important than the entertainment part?
I'm gonna leave that for other people. However, other people felt that's their own personal opinion. At the time, I look at it like this. She's great on the microphone. You know what I mean? Like, and it's sports entertainment.
Right.
You need a little razzle dazzle. You need a little bit of something because if it's boring, and if you don't have a little bit of oomph, then what is a show?
Right.
You need a little bit of that. So I can't speak for anybody else. I can speak for myself. At the time, I'm like, I'm just entertaining. This is what we do. This is our job. We entertain people, and it's whether you get under people's skin or whether you don't. This is what we do for a living.
True. Do you,
Yeah.
you you think like Total Divas the show could return now with the current crop of wrestlers, or is there an aspect of the talent now who wouldn't want to do something like that?
I definitely feel like absolutely. If you kind of look at the caliber of talent, where NXT and where WWE is at now, I definitely feel like they're bringing a lot more people who have a following or like was a gymnast or something like that who already kind of had like a name and are now entering this world. So I could definitely see a reboot, but why not do? Well, I want to say do a reboot. You can do a reboot with them, but why not do a reboot with the OGs?
The reunion.
Where we're at now, like it could still be a part of the WWE umbrella, but it's like we were a part of WWE. What is it? Because I mean, beside Natty, if I can, yeah, she's the only person that's still in WWE, which would still have a great tie-in.
So everyone in who is exactly in the cast that you were involved with the first one, like the
So the
exact people.
OGs were me, Trin, the Bellas, JoJo, Eva, and Natty.
So yeah, only Natty is really still attached.
I mean, I'm talking about the original cast, like
Yeah,
the
the
OG.
original cast. Yeah, so you could
Yeah.
do that. I wouldn't do a reunion with like season 3. You gotta do
Oh,
you gotta do with 1 too. You gotta start with 1, and then you gotta do 2, then 3. You gotta do the season. You gotta extend it. Extend the
exactly. And then you
reunions.
just keep bringing in everybody of how, then you bring in the Summer, then you bring in Paige. Because think about it, like even now you have Carmella. She just had a baby.
Right.
Congratulations, girl, by the way, with her and Corey. And then you have Alexa and like Ryan, like there's so many different avenues I feel like you can, and they're still a part of WWE, but it's like everyone's kind of like, where are we at now? Some people who are still wrestling, some people who are not, some people still attached to WWE, some people who are not. Like it brings a different flavor and a variety. People who are with people, people who aren't with people anymore.
I think there's like $1 million idea, honestly, because me and my wife, well, not me, my wife will start watching something and I'm in the room and I'm like, oh, what are you watching? Like I'm watching the show, reruns on Netflix. Was it something Blind of Love? Where people are like talking to each other through blind love?
Love is blind.
Love is blind. And
Yes.
I'm like, what is this show? But then I start watching it and then I'm thinking like, what the hell? What is happening here? But Total Divas, if this show about Glass can return and them falling in love and getting married, I think a Total Divas reunion and return would be amazing. And having like a cast of like Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, going through it and realizing motherhood versus not having a family or being single, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Exactly. I feel like we could kick it off with like a reunion, like even if it's like a one-off with the OGs and people, and then now put it back to, how it started of what the current talent and bringing in old talent. I feel like it could be a thing. Manifesting that, putting that out there. You can hear it first.
Put it out there. Put it out there because that is perfect. I love it so much. Many fans try to figure out how to get into wrestling, and Tough Enough was a show that got a lot of people involved with wrestling. And you were on Tough Enough. How did you even get involved with Tough Enough? Because again, so many people try to get in the WWE or even be on TV in the WWE. You were on Tough Enough, then obviously that allowed you to be who you are today. So how did you end up on Tough Enough?
You just like to ask me all these questions that you'd like to try to.
How did you end up? I don't want to ask you about what happened on Tough Enough. I'm asking you, how did you get on Tough Enough? Again, 5th time, never ask these questions.
I'm going to plead the 5th.
About how you got on Tough Enough?
Yes, because it's okay. Because I'm like, these are sometimes things I'm like, do I share this out loud? Or it honestly, how I got on Tough Enough, initially I did a diva search. So that's what it was at the time. I submitted myself on LA casting. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Had an opportunity to then start at that time FCW, which is now NXT. Long story short, things changed. I got put on Tough Enough. So without going too detailed, that's how it happened. And then there I was on Tough Enough.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Again, it's because you always see like the video submissions or something like that, but obviously from the Divas search.
I also had a video submission though.
Okay, for Tough Enough.
Oh yeah, it was something. Let me tell you.
Does this video still exist?
I honestly have been trying to find it because I'm like, who was I at? I just remember we won't even get into that.
No, you started a story. You have to finish it. That's not fair to everybody.
Oh, yeah, it's very fair. Let's just say I'm a different person of who I was when I had that tape back then. Gosh, it's showing my age, whatever. I'm 36 years young. It was on a DVD, I think. Or a floppy disk or something. Was
got it. I don't think it was on a floppy disk, but
it was on like a CD, and it was like I had to mail it in.
Yeah.
Wow, that is something. Look at where we're at now with technology.
I know.
Transfer.
I know, but like for instance, this interview, I'd have to probably fly out to wherever you are, have a local place to set up, get a camera, a fortune.
It's different, yeah. So yeah, back then I definitely had a submission tape for that for sure. Wow. But the story of I'm not going to give you all the tea because you try to get it out of me, and you know what? It's just not going to. Maybe our 10th interview, you'll get some crazy controversy that you're like, cha-ching, got her.
Oh man, no, that is unfair. If anything, the tea was spilled again a long time ago in an interview we did. I won't tell you which episode it was. But listen, again, let me just clarify to all the viewers at home and you yourself. I've never asked you any of these questions once, but I was like, well, we're here. Why don't we ask them?
Yes.
So
how about you ask me the question about my music?
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about all your outside projects because obviously, again, as a talented person like yourself, you must have multiple projects in the works. So what do you got?
So, which is it all, but it also ties back into wrestling. I finally had dropped my single Queen, which came out the day, which I've been so focused on PTW, but that was my interest music. And so if you're not watching the pay-per-view, poundtownwrestling.com, and also stay, tuned for the very end for a special surprise on how you can watch it.
Yep.
So yeah, it was my interest music that I came out to that was new. And yeah, the music video, you get to watch it if you stream the pay-per-view before the public even gets to see it. So that's also the perk of streaming the pay-per-view.
Well,
So yeah, my song Queen it was released. I brought it back because I was like not ready, but it ties into, wrestling, the whole world. And eventually my whole Queen project is to give back to the community. So I'm working on a whole project under the Queen umbrella, which is pretty much being an athlete and having a platform is when you're focused, resilient, and driven, the sky has no limits, no matter what background you come from. Maybe a little bit more difficult, maybe a little bit harder, but it's possible. So eventually I have a whole Queen campaign that's coming out that will tie back to giving back to the community.
Oh man. Again, in my local community, I love to help and volunteer and do all types of things like that with my local my neighborhood friends. And so you doing this as well with music and connecting with using your platform, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, especially with the holidays coming up, it's very difficult. I mean, not just for everybody, for people who've maybe lost someone, people who are alone, and then you think about people who are underprivileged. It's a difficult time because even though holidays make people excited, it also makes people like, I mean, I think about it now, I'm like, if you guys can see, I have my dad that's right here because he passed away. It'll be 2 years in January. So it's sometimes the little things, that matter.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. Oh man. Holiday season upon us right now. Maybe we should give people a little gift. Little poundtownwrestling.com. But first, I asked one more question, but it won't be a controversial one because we don't want to spill any more tea. Even though I have a couple more, but I'm going to save them for the sixth time. So, because I don't, I feel like I've hit you once and hit you twice, but I don't want to hit you 3 times. Let's ask you worst wrestling injury because it's not ballet. Do you have the worst wrestling injury?
I do. I'm actually covering it with my eyeliner. I got elbowed to the face right here and right here. So I think it was 5 stitches here and maybe 6 on the side.
Damn. Who the hell elbowed you in the face?
Yeah, we're not the same person who gave me nothing. It's just, yeah, just one person.
Just one person.
Maybe 2.
What does their name rhyme with?
I plead the fifth.
I think we can guess who it is. I think we can guess who it is. But if there was 2 of them. But anyways,
who would it be?
I'm gonna guess the Bella Twins.
No.
There's 2 people. You're like leaning me towards thinking it's the Bella Twins.
No, these are 2 different times.
Oh, 2 different times. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like bop bop, the twins got you.
No, this is 2 different times. And one of them wasn't even in WWE, so it was just practice.
Oh, I thought someone was just like coming up on the street being like, hey.
No.
And for some reason elbowed you. I don't know. These are questions I have to ask, and then you gave me the answer. I have no idea what's in your brain.
And I'm not going to say who.
Okay. Someone you were practicing
with. Don't try it, but don't try it. Don't you tried it though.
I didn't try nothing.
Yes, you
said 2 people.
Really fast, guys. He's a great interviewer because he knows how to be like, so it is so wait, what is it? Unproblematically. It's just like, so, what's your worst? Who did it?
That's not what I'm here to do.
Yes, it is. I'm just kidding. I mean, you wouldn't be a good interviewer if you didn't ask the questions that people want to know, and that will make people be like, "Oh my gosh!" If I don't give you anything, you're like, "Oh, damn, how can I spin this?" Okay.
That's true. They'd probably be like, "You hated performing at WrestleMania 28, dancing with a bunch of people dressed as mamas," but you didn't say that at all. But that would be like, weird. What a weird headline to pull out of this interview. But if that's what we're going with, then wow, a lot of views on this channel.
Exactly.
It's very strange that people do that. They pull out, not with you, but in general, all my interviews, it seems like I'll ask someone a question and they're like, yes, I think it's partly cloudy. And someone's like, they hate partly sunny days. I'm like,
That is very true.
what?
But no matter what comes out of my mouth, even in this interview, it's going to somehow cause controversy.
True. Well,
That is just something about, especially with your interviews, just somehow they're like,
no.
she said this, how dare her?
Well, I don't know. I don't have to tell you.
I'm having a good day, and that literally will turn into the most negative news of all time.
Oh no. Well, maybe there won't be a sixth time. I don't know. But we've cleared out 5 so far. Maybe someday we'll get to that 10 where you spilt the tea all over the place. But right now, let's give the people a gift before you say something crazy and controversial by accident. By accident, PoundtownWrestling.com. What can we give the
Oh my gosh, by accident, you can get 50% off with 10 count 50. Oh, wait, did I just say that?
Oh my.
Wait, did I say 50% off? I meant 15% off. I was trying to say 10 count 15. I said 10 count 50. Damn.
Oh man. Either way, an offer is an offer, and I think 15% is better than 0%, folks.
I just said 50 though. Dang.
Now is it 50?
I said 10 count 50, but I meant to say 10 count 15. Oh, look at that. Look at all that tea I just spilled right now.
Wow.
PoundtownWrestling.com, where you can get it for 50% off. Yeah, 15%, 50% off.
10 count 50 coupon code on PoundtownWrestling.com to see the match between you and Sunny Kiss and so much more action and storylines being built for February, your next event. Excuse me? Has Christmas come early? I believe it has. I believe it has for the good viewers here who are going to take some quote from this and spill tea all over their websites with something crazy is said by accident. But anyways, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, it's always amazing.
A pleasure.
And now I'm not only did I make history creating the first luxury independent wrestling promotion, but I just made history by being the fifth time that we've done an interview together.
That's right.
History and her story all at the same time.
It's amazing. Drew McIntyre was 3, then Gunther beat him at 4, and then you today have done it. You are number 5. My God, watch out for Gunther. He's going to slap the crap out of you when he sees you next time because you have beaten him here on 10 count. But I'll have to say it's been an honor and a privilege, and I have more spicy tea questions that will be answered on the 6th interview, folks. Don't you worry. We will get there. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, and we're having fun here. I'm in Seafall. I feel so bad sitting here. I don't mean to laugh, but my God, we had a good time here. All right, Andrew, thank you so much for being here on 10 Count. I'm Seafall. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.